All right, December 18th, last week before Christmas here. So final stretch of games before we get all the way through to Christmas season. And we got 5 games to start it off on the schedule here on this Monday night. Or 6, 5 games on the schedule. Yeah, 5 games on the schedule to kick it off here on this Monday. But before we get into tonight's games, talk a little bit about what went down on the weekend. I want to remind everybody that today's show, as always, is sponsored by BetStamp. The easiest way to improve as a sports bettor is by using multiple sports books and always getting the best odds. We recommend using an odds comparison tool like BetStamp to help you do so. BetStamp compares odds across every sports book, whether that's for games, futures, or player props. You can save time and money by checking BetStamp before you bet. So make sure to download the app today. It is available on iOS, Android, as well as on the web if that's how you'd prefer to sign up. If you are looking to sign up for a new sportsbook account, please check out the offers available at betstamp.app/edgework. It does help support the show. On top of helping support the show, liking the stream, subscribing here to the channel. If you listen on podcasts, rate, review, all that stuff, that helps support us as well. So if you could take a moment to do that while you're listening or after you're done listening, that would be much appreciated. But thank you to everyone who's out here on this fine Monday morning. Alex B., how you feeling right now? You says you're traveling tomorrow?
Yeah, traveling back home to Chicago. So on the Friday show, I will be located in Chicago for that and getting ready for the holidays. Doing all right, kind of a interesting up and down weekend. I did wake up with a piece of news that made me laugh, and laughter is always the best medicine when you're kind of going through it. Aaron Dell getting a tryout with the Carolina Hurricanes. Of course, they've had a bunch of goaltending issues, which is not shocking because when you spend $3.4 million to sign Frederik Andersen, who constantly stays injured, and then spend another $1 million to sign Antti Ranta, who's constantly injured, then you have to start looking for goaltenders. And they have been diving into the recycling bin. They wanted to try to sign Yaroslav Halak. He didn't pass the tryout, and now here comes Aaron Dell potentially. So Carolina's in a lot of trouble. And Don Waddell, I think this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. They missed the playoffs because of this goaltending fiasco. He should probably be out of job.
So, Money, where do you stand on the goaltending situation in Carolina and the status of Don Waddell?
Well, I mean, we knew that Freddie Andersen has been fragile his whole career, right? But at the same time, it goes back to what we discussed with the Oilers, right? So the decision was made, right? You had a goaltender, you knew he was fragile, but you had him, right? And when he's good, when he's healthy, when he's on, he is one of the better goaltenders in the league. So of course you need to sign him. Now, once you get into the situation where he's hurt, Ranta is not playing well, and Kochetkov is not at the level that you, fair or unfair, that you kind of expected him to be at, what are you supposed to do in this situation, right? And and I asked that about the Oilers too. The decision was made. You can't go back in hindsight, right? What are you supposed to do right now moving forward, right? And that's the trouble Carolina is in, right? So whether or not it should cost him his job, I mean, I don't know, right? You need to make the tough decision, and it's easy to go back in hindsight and say, well, we know he's always hurt, or we should have known Ranta would turn into whatever he is, right? So, but at the same time, if they do in fact miss the playoffs, right? We're talking about two different things here. If they miss the playoffs, then I agree with Alex, right? Because you have to shake it up, right? If they get into the playoffs, even if they don't win even if they don't get to the conference championship or the cup or whatever, I think you need to give him time to kind of figure this out, right? So I think that would be the distinction here for me.
Yeah, fair
Yeah, and
enough.
that's the thing. I want to make that clear. Yeah, not if they get to the playoffs, like I said, they whatever they do in the playoffs, that's fine. But if they miss the playoffs because of this, because this would be if they go on this continue to go on a losing stretch. Let's say they do sign Dell and they go with Dell and Kachekov and they go through this horrible stretch before Anderson comes back, and then they're 5-6 points out of missing a playoff spot. We could trace it back to this window and then trace it all the way back to in July. Like I said it in July. They shouldn't have signed Ronta. They shouldn't have signed Anderson. So it's not even kind of hindsight. I said it from the very beginning. This is a bad idea. So.
All right. Well, let's move forward here. Getting closer to getting to tonight's games. But before we do that, so Money, I got to ask you about the state of the Vancouver Canucks right now. Shootout loss to the Minnesota Wild on Saturday there, but then they get a win against Alex's Chicago Blackhawks yesterday. I see people recruiting Bedard now to Vancouver. I saw people sending him Instagram direct messages with box scores after the game, telling him it's time to come home to Vancouver. What is going on in Vancouver? What's the status of the team, and where's the parade route at right now? Is it still being planned? Are you guys on hold? What's the deal there?
So I don't know about parade, right? But this team is for real, and they're not going anywhere, right? I was very impressed with the weekend. Even the shootout loss against Minnesota, that was a game that this core has shown that they don't show up for, right? Now, granted, they didn't play that well, and they probably should have lost that game, but this core doesn't even get a point in the past, right? It was an early start. They after being home on Thursday night, then they traveled. It was an early start. The front end of a back to back. Now that situation itself, it was accounted for in the line and the market, right? Because we saw how deflated the Canucks were in the market on Saturday morning, right? The situation itself was accounted, but you still have to play the game, and that's the game that this core has lost in the past and not even gotten a point. So just grinding out a point there in a tough situation was very impressive. Then the next night you go to Chicago. That's another game where I'm telling you that this team loses. Last year, this team would have lost that game in Chicago, right? Again, not their best game. They do have some tired legs right now. You can see that after their home stretch and they went on the road, they are playing with tired legs, but they're grinding it out, right? Besser after the game. I mean, it's cliche, but he talked about will and effort and all that. I don't know about all that, but they did grind it out, right? So
Right.
I'm very impressed with this team, and they're not going anywhere.
All right, let's get to today's games. We do have the 5 ahead of us here on the schedule, so we'll break each one of these down, give out best bets if we have them. If you guys have any questions, please make sure to send them in the chat. Before we get to the best bets, though, here, just a reminder to people, you can track all the picks that we give out on through the course of the season in BetStamp. Not just good for comparing odds across games, futures, and player props, but tracking your bets as well. That's what we do here on the Edgework Show. We use BetStamp. You can find us in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ, and if you head on over there, you'll see so far this season, 131, 126, and over 259 bets. We have a 7.4% ROI. Went 4-1 on Saturday on our Saturday best bets. So you're going to want to be following us on Twitter as well as following us here. But pretty good season so far for us here, continuing on what we built off of, or what we built last year. So hopefully we can continue that and close out the season like this as well. But let's get to today's games, and we will start with the Pittsburgh Penguins, who are hosting the Minnesota Wild. Now, if there was anybody in Toronto who was still in mourning, as it was being reported after the departure of Kyle Dubas, hopefully after Saturday night's 7-0 win over the Penguins, Leafs fans can finally get over that one. That's the last straw that they needed. Kyle Dubas being cut to in the stands, just cursing at the team, the officials, whatever it was. Now head home to Pittsburgh and host the Minnesota Wild here. You currently see Pittsburgh sitting at minus 120. The Wild coming in plus 108 and a total right now of 6. So, Money, how are you kind of approaching this game, and what do you make of where the market is right now?
So it should be no surprise. I'm on the Penguins here. I think we can go ahead and lock that in. I do like them up to minus 125. So the market has gotten kind of close to where I have it. Um, a couple of things here. So yes, I generally come in higher on the Penguins. I fully concede that, and it could be, and I fully acknowledge that it could be to my detriment going forward the rest of the season, right? And if they're not able to respond in in this situation after a 7-0 loss and after the stuff that we're hearing coming out of their camp, then I might just have to throw my numbers in the garbage on the Penguins. Right, so this is a Penguins team that's still generating offense, right? The problem is they can't finish, right? And not only can they not finish, defensively they're a mess, right? And they're giving up a ton of chances. The only things that's saving the Penguins relatively is that they've had strong goaltending this year, right? Um, so I don't know how long that can continue. They have in practice they did shake up the defensive pairings. They did talk about getting back to a team defensive focus. I do have faith in Sullivan to kind of get that focus back because he has shown in the past that when he's had subpar defensive teams, he has been able to kind of focus on a team on a team defense situation there. So with the Wild, they they do have trouble generating offense as well. So that's the reason why, even with Pittsburgh being so poor defensively, I'm relatively okay with still betting them, even at a kind of minus 120 there, because I don't fully expect Minnesota to be able to take advantage of that as well as another team may, right? And of course, it's the last game for Fleury in Pittsburgh. So I mean, all that narrative stuff. I don't know how to quantify that. So like maybe tonight he'll decide that he's going to play very well as opposed to not playing well in other games. But I don't know what any of that. But it's just something fun on the side there too. It's his last game in Pittsburgh, so I'll definitely be watching that as well.
All right, there you go. First bet of the night locked in there. The Pittsburgh Penguins minus 120 on the money line. So money saying good up to minus 125. So I'll lock that in here first and foremost. Now, Alex, where do you kind of come in on this game? Do you have any thoughts here?
Yeah, I grabbed $1.20 with the Pens last night, so I agree with somebody. I would also be looking at. I don't bet a lot of these often. I'm looking at the under potentially. Like you mentioned with Marc-Andre Fleury, this being potentially his last start in Pittsburgh. Of course, we know all the history he's had there, built his Hall of Fame career against the Penguins. But if you look at it, like I said, how the Penguins have been struggling, especially on the power play of late, not generating enough consistent offense. Then also on the flip side, Minnesota has changed their whole philosophy since John Hines has come in. They're a more defensive-minded team. We've seen that their offensive, decline, not necessarily for the behest of the team because they're playing better defensively, but they're not getting enough scoring, in my opinion. And I think with these two teams kind of colliding against one another, we could see this one be a bit of a low-scoring affair. And if Fleury's on point, like I said, his last time playing in Pittsburgh, I would definitely lean to that. So I would be looking at maybe an under 6 potentially.
Would you want to lock that in here? We can see a minus 105 on the best price available. On the
I
under
wouldn't
six.
lock it in just yet because I'm still not seeing 100% confirmed that Fleury is starting. It's pretty much we're all kind of going with that, and I'm seeing it, but until that's officially locked in, then I might wait a little bit, but I don't want to confirm it as of right now.
All right, makes sense. So we'll leave that one off, but that one is something to hold on to, back pocket throughout the remainder of the day. But we do have one bet there, and that is the Pittsburgh Penguins money line, minus 120. So lock that in, first play. Now we'll move on to next game here, the
Sorry,
Detroit
Zach?
Red Wings. Yep.
One thing, Minnesota just took a bunch of money in the market. So if you're don't so we're already locked in and I've got to play in. But if you haven't betted yet, just wait until it comes down. Yeah, they're starting Nedeljkovic. That's why.
Yeah, that's I
Okay.
was just about to
Yes.
say. I just see that. I just saw it.
Yeah. So that's a little surprising, and I'm not happy about that. The
Yeah.
play is locked in. I still like the Penguins. Obviously, it's going to be adjusted down now. But just wait. You'll. Let me just do my Nedeljkovic number here. Yeah, so with Nedeljkovic, I'm at -110. So yeah, if you can grab the -110 right now, I would. Right. So but just if you're only seeing -120s in your book, just just wait a bit until it comes down.
All right. Yeah, there you go. Well, ideal start. There you go. That's why you watch this live. Get to see what happens in real time as these announcements come in and as money starts to come in on certain teams on either
Not
side.
cool.
Yeah, not cool.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
This is stuff I have to deal with live, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right.
All right.
Positive vibes, guys. Positive vibes.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
we're good. We're good. These are the ones where we get kicked in the teeth in terms of the COV and everything moving against us, and it'll be a no doubter here on this one. All right, well, moving on. We got the Detroit Red Wings hosting the Anaheim Ducks here tonight. Big price for the Red Wings if you're looking to back them. -222, the best price available, but you see this one all the way out to -250s on some different books out there. +209 on the Anaheim Ducks as it is right now, and a total of 6.5. Any thoughts in terms of this this expensive price here on the Detroit Red Wings right now, or the total as it is at 6.5, Alex?
As of right now, I mean, I don't know. I don't see too much of anything. Maybe take a shot with the Red Wings' first period puck line. I'm seeing you could, lay the half a goal in the first 20 minutes and get +130, +135 with Anaheim on the second night of a back-to-back. And they had a great third period last night. So I had Adam Henrique get the hat trick in his old home in New Jersey, and now taking on this Wings team that's been kind of just up and down. We thought Sir Patrick Kane showing up would be a boost to our offense. That team's kind of been struggling since 88 showed up to Detroit. So that's maybe the only thing, just kind of play it light early and then maybe look for this some stuff in game.
All right. So money, anything for you here at all?
I'm so rattled, you guys.
I get it.
No, I got nothing here. I thought it was fair, right? Like, I mean, obviously you look at that big number with Detroit, and it's really tough to justify laying that. So with this Red Wings team, who's shown to be inconsistent, especially lately, but I'm not getting involved with Anaheim here either. So I had this fair right now, so I will be passing on this game.
All right. Now, third game of the night here. The Winnipeg Jets hosting the Montreal Canadiens. Winnipeg -217 right now, +214 on the Montreal Canadiens, and a total of 6 on Pinnacle, 6.5 elsewhere. So money, any thoughts on the side or total here?
You have to look at Montreal unders, right? I mean, like they've been they do have trouble generating, and for the most part, they do play well. They do play well defensively. I need confirmation on their goaltending. I also need confirmation on Winnipeg's goaltending as well. Hellebuck has started the last couple of games, and he's looked strong, so I would expect him to play again. But at 6 in Montreal, at 6 in a Montreal game, I think the total has been adjusted already. So I'll pass. If we get a plus money on the under 6, I'd be interested, like plus 105 range. But as of right now, we're not there. So this is another game where I'll be passing.
What would it take for you to bite on 6.5 and under 6.5 if there are some out there, or people have access to those and they might want to play that under there if it's available to them?
6.5, I'd go to -127.
Okay.
And then 6, I want plus 105.
All right, makes sense. So we'll leave that here. But for those of you out there, if that's something you are looking to play, there you go. There's So Money's numbers on that. Alex, any interest at all from you from a betting perspective in this game?
Yeah, I'm looking at the regulation draw, which I'm seeing you can get some pretty good numbers. I see plus 350 at Caesars. I've seen it as high as plus 365 at a couple other shops. So definitely shop around plus 370 at Pinnacle. The Habs have been a team that has played games very close. We've seen 3 of the last 7 meetings go past regulation. 3 of the last 7 games for Montreal overall go to past regulation. 3 of the last 6 meetings with the Winnipeg Jets go past regulation, including 2 of the last 3. So I think this could be a kind of a tight, close, low-scoring game, and it would take a little bit longer than 60 minutes to get it done.
Okay, so plus 370 on the regulation time draw. We'll go with a half unit on that play there. And then we got 2 more games on the schedule here tonight. And again, reminder, we will go back and recap all of these at the very end of the show here, all the picks for tonight. But before we get into these 2 other games, I got a question here for you guys from the chat. Mike Bromberg asking, at what point does Anaheim become the new San Jose? San Jose is the team, Alex, you infamously said would have 2 wins at American Thanksgiving. I think that came true. I think that they had, or less than 2 wins. They had exactly 2 wins there at Thanksgiving. Has it flipped over? Is Anaheim the San Jose Sharks now?
I mean, they're getting close to it. I think the Chicago might be the new San Jose Sharks at the moment. They are the worst team record-wise in the league. And, Anaheim, I thought Anaheim was a team that looked like they could be kind of sneaky and maybe, disrupt some things and kind of find their way into that wild card spot. I took a shot with them at plus 1,100 when they went on that run in late October into November, and then all of a sudden they just completely cratered off the face of the earth. Lucas Dostal regressed, John Gibson regressed, and the defense in front of them has regressed. So just a lot of things now. So they are pretty bad. They will be toward the bottom of the division now, right there with San Jose. So it could be sooner than later, possibly.
So, Money, what are your thoughts on the Anaheim Ducks and their trajectory at this point?
Yeah, I completely agree with Alex. I think that this team they've also not been healthy too, right? They are starting to get. Yeah, there you go, Matt Alber. They are starting to get stealing my thunder here. They are starting to get to get some pieces back. So I would expect their play to pick up. So I don't really think that they're at that level yet, and I don't know that they'll get there now as they move forward. I think that there will be some opportunities to actually bet on Anaheim, especially now after they've gone through this road trip. They're going to have a bunch of home games coming up against some teams that are going to be on tough schedule situationally. So I think that and the number is going to be always inflated on against Anaheim. So I think there might be some opportunities on Anaheim right now, but just be patient, wait a bit, wait until they get some of their guys back, and I think that there will be an opportunity to bet on Anaheim.
All right, now 2 more games on the schedule that we'll get to for tonight. So getting through those. Also, Russ here saying good hair day for So Money usually equals winning picks. #trends. There you go. If trends are something you're into here, that might be one to start following here on this show. So Money hair and the correlation with winning picks.
When I'm wearing a hat, then I'm having a bad morning. So
losing day, don't tail, stay away. Yeah. Yeah, builds up the mojo, as Jeremy's saying there in the chat as well. All right, let's get to the next game here. The Dallas Stars hosting the Seattle Kraken. Dallas minus 180 here, plus 161 on the Kraken on the other side, and a total of 6 at Pinnacle. 6.5 out there elsewhere. You can find that juice to the over on Pinnacle with the over 6. Alex, what are your thoughts on this game, and do you have any bets here?
Yes, I do. I mean, I've been Dallas Stars kind of a semi-fan for the last couple of weeks because of this incredible run in the first period over 9 in a row, 21-5 on the season, and we're still getting wonderful prices. Laying $1.27 at Pinnacle, $1.30 at Caesars, up to $1.45 at MGM. I like this play all the way up to $1.45. I think this is a great spot. Dallas also now possibly without Jake Ottinger long term. The goaltending situation had already been shaky with him in net. He'd been giving up some of those early goals to help catch those first periods, but now they got to rely on either Wedgwood or Matthew Murray, not Matt Murray in Toronto, but Matthew Murray, who was in the Stars organization. He's had some decent numbers in the AHL with Texas, so he'll probably be getting the call up. But either way, I think we could see goals early continuing with Stars games.
All right, over 1.5, minus 127 here for the Stars Kraken game in the first period. We'll lock that in as our next official play. So, Money, anything for you outside of that you've got here for this game tonight?
Yeah, so I like we like to rag on the Seattle Kraken here, right? This is an anti-Seattle show it's turned into when I've come on, but
Yeah.
we've gone too far here now, right? I think that um, we're at a we're at a point now in the market where Seattle's actually undervalued. So um, I am half a unit on Seattle here. I got them down to plus 132. Um, we can get, yeah, there you go. We got some. We,
140,
we
138. Yeah.
yeah, we should be able to get some better numbers than that.
Hold on. There we go. That was on me. I had that one clicked on the first period. We're good.
Yeah,
161. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I was
So
clicked on the wrong thing.
okay, so yeah, I was surprised there. So I do, I do have them down to minus one to plus 132 without Ottinger in that. So I'm on Seattle here. I just think that this is strictly a play where I feel that we've gone too far in the marketplace betting against Seattle. So I think that we're at a market low right now, and we need to pull back some of it. So that's the reason I'm on Seattle for, and it's just half a unit because I can't go full unit because it doesn't change any of my thoughts on Seattle long
Right.
term. It's just that my thoughts on Seattle. Combined with the market price, there's a small edge there. So um, we are on Seattle.
See, this is what we talked about on Friday, where we said, "Do you think it'll win?" No, but you're gonna bet it because it says the numbers tell you to bet it. So many not trusting the Kraken here, but still the number making sense for the play. So Seattle plus 161, and that's 161, not 140. Like I said, that was on me. Pull up the wrong page there. Half unit on the Kraken. We'll recap all of these, but we got one more game to go here for tonight, and that would be in Calgary as the Flames host the Florida Panthers. Calgary plus 107 right now. The Panthers minus 118 and a total of 6.5. Alex, where do you stand on this Flames Panthers game for tonight?
This one I don't really have too much on. I mean, the Flames have been just kind of a rough team to watch right now, and the Panthers have just quietly been kind of scraping up some victories, playing some decent hockey. It's just amazing too how this team, I think a lot of us kind of thought that they would just be getting into their groove right now, as opposed to the beginning of the year, considering how things ended with the injuries and different things and the cup run that they made. We expected that hangover to be there, and it just never really popped up. And so now Florida's just one of those teams where we have to take them seriously as a quality team in the East if we haven't already. So it's one I'm probably going to stay out of, maybe dip in and grab something live, but nothing of note here for me.
Any bets for you, So Money?
No, but can we just circle back to that Penguins game? It's obviously still on my mind. So the market has hit rock bottom here. Like has hit the bottom on the Penguins. So if you haven't bet the Penguins, I still do like them with Nedeljkovic. I'm just really rattled about the pricing here, but the market has hit the low. So like if you like the Penguins, it's good to go with them now. Um, Back to the Calgary game. When you first look at the number, it does look the Panthers do look look deflated in the market. Couple of reasons for that. They are on the last game of their road trip here, and Calgary they are showing signs of starting to turn it around a bit. So not fully turn it around. Their play has gotten better in the last few games. So that's the reason why Panthers look a little short. But when you take when you're looking at season long numbers, but when you take those two elements into consideration, I think that Panthers install that this kind of favorite in the market is fair right now. So that's the reason I'll pass. But just a couple of things to look out for in terms of why the market is constructed in the way that it is right now in this game.
All right, so no play there. We will recap all of these, but there's a question in the chat I think is interesting, and today's probably a decent day to get into it here as well. Charles Saul asking, do you guys have any takes for the World Juniors? Now, Alex, I don't know how closely you follow it. I know for myself, it's something that's on pretty much every game throughout the course of the tournament. So Money, I imagine it's fairly similar for you as well. Any takes for the World Juniors there?
So growing up, and I think it's like this for most people around our age in Canada. Like it was like that once that music hits, it's just like the TSN music. It just like hits you differently, right? Like, um,
Yep. Gord Miller, Ray Ferraro.
yeah, yeah, especially when the games are on, when they're actually overseas and they're on like early morning, and you wake
Yep.
up early morning. Like it's weird, but it's a little bit different when the games start in the afternoon, right? But early morning, that music hits, like everybody's asleep, you're up, you're fired up, right? But um, as the years have gone on, there was a time when I was betting it a lot, but as the years have gone on, I've been betting it less and less, um, and not just because of anything. It's just because like there's just been more things to bet on, I guess, as I've gotten older. But I still love the tournament. In terms of any takes, I honestly couldn't tell you. It's something that I will I will be watching, but
Mhm.
I couldn't even tell you who's good or who's not. I do
Yeah.
have friends who do bet it, so I just end up tailing them a lot of times. Just whatever they like, I just bet it with them, right? Just like we have fun together with that. But yeah, I couldn't tell you from a betting perspective, but I do love the tournament and I'll be watching it, and it's in a good time zone this year as well.
Yeah, is Sweden's good for
Yeah.
you on the West? All right,
Yeah.
fair enough. Uh, Alex, any takes for you on the World Juniors?
No, and I think this is kind of where the country divide kind of comes into play a little bit. Being here in the States, I remember as a kid, I didn't even really get a chance to watch the World Juniors. Only since we've gotten NHL network in the last, I say, 15, 16 years, we've been even able to get consistent coverage of it. That being said, I'm not really a big proponent of international play. That's a whole thing I'll say for whenever the NHL decides to go back to the Olympics. But all being said, I mean, like it's a big tournament, and obviously you want to take note of the players that are involved because these are the future stars of the NHL. It's been proven year after year after year. So I do catch highlights, look for things. There's a lot of Blackhawks prospects that'll be involved with it. I just hope everybody gets through it safely. You don't want to see anything crazy happen with these guys when they go back to their junior and college teams respectively when it's all done.
Yeah, I mean, for us here in Canada, it's like the big
Yeah.
thing. Everybody watching during Boxing Day, the first game of the tournament. Canada always playing on that day, and then it just ends up being something that kind of takes over the country for the next week and a half that the tournament's being played. I will say, I know this. I don't know how. I would assume it's probably fairly widely known at this point, but Canada has one returning player. They're gonna win the tournament, so don't worry about it. But they're good. They have one returning player. It's Owen Beck, and he's the player who joined the team last year during the tournament because someone else was injured and wasn't able to play. So he was like an emergency bring-in player. So outside of that, basically the entire team for Canada has been flipped over. And the other thing I would say, I kind of bet it probably similar to So Money there, where it's like it's not serious, it's game to game, having fun, buddies are betting on it, whatever. The only tidbit that I could give, which I know that the people who watch this show are smart enough to do, but maybe if people are stumbling upon this and they don't know, line shopping, especially here in these tournaments, is the most important thing you could ever possibly do. Even if you're looking to get pre-tournament positions or anything, just open up even 2, 3 sports books and start looking across, because the discrepancies that you can find in some of this stuff is shocking sometimes. I guess that's the best way to put it. It's massive. So just line shop for some of these. Even if you're just doing it for fun, just get the best of the number, whatever it is that you're doing. So that's kind of the way that I look at those. But I mean, takes, Canada's going to win, obviously. So continue to maintain the hockey dominance at the junior level in North America, Alex. Uh, all right.
And Mike,
Our picks. Go ahead, someone.
there's a comment there from a Mike in the chat about Celebrini. So
Yeah.
just want to point out another excuse me, another local kid that's gonna take the NHL by storm next year as well. So
And end
in
up in
the
Chicago too. It's amazing.
he could, and that would be fun, right?
Actually, wait. So money. I got a question for you. What's this about Bedard's cousin or brother or something? Or I think it's his cousin. Apparently, he's some stud young prospect player too. You hear much about him out there in Vancouver?
We haven't actually heard much about him, but like we do know, right? And I mean, it just
Yeah.
goes to show that that BC's an NHL factory right now. Like it's all happening right now. We're gonna have back-to-back number one overall picks. It's fun times here in BC. Unfortunately, they're both gonna end up in Chicago, so that's gonna suck.
Not too bad.
Yeah. And also, I've never felt so old and out of it than when I was looking at some of these guys, and you're seeing like 2006, 2007 born players and stuff. I'm like, wow, that is shocking.
That's crazy.
Shocking numbers to see. Yeah. All right. To recap today's picks, we do have 4 for you guys on tonight's NHL slate. We have the Pittsburgh Penguins minus 120. So money. Penguins money line minus 120 there against Minnesota Wilds. We're taking the regulation time draw for half a unit between the Habs and the Jets. We have the Seattle Kraken plus 161 at a half unit there. And then the Kraken Stars first period over 1.5 minus 127 for a full unit. So Penguins money line minus 120 full unit there. Habs, Jets, regulation time draw plus 370 half unit. Kraken money line plus 161 half unit. And then finally the Kraken Stars first period over 1.5 minus 127. That'll do it for today's plays. If you are looking for more content throughout the day, make sure to check out everything else happening over on the Hammer. You can follow us on the Hammer HQ on Twitter, as well as Edgework HQ for more show updates or network-wide updates throughout the course of the day, throughout the week. Make sure to follow us over on BetStamp for the Find Better section. But for everyone who tuned in here today, appreciate that. Thank you for taking the time to do this, for spending your mornings with us. So Money, Alex, thank you guys for doing this here today. Alex, enjoy your travels. Safe traveling. We'll see you back here on Friday. And So Money, we'll see you here on Thursday. But for the rest of the chat, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe on the way out. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Enjoy the games tonight. Good luck on your bets.